Okay, good evening. This is Village of Villa Park Traffic and Safety Commission meeting. We are starting, it is 8:05. We're going to start with call to order.
Roll call. Cuthbertson,
Yes.
D'Alessandro,
Here.
Vlaskamp,
Here.
McMurray, Carl Timmerman. Here. Karen Timmerman. Wagner. Here. Chairman Pinkos.
Here. Okay, any amendments to our agenda? Okay, if not, we'll move on to public comments on agenda items. Excuse me, would you be non-agenda items?
None.
Yes. I would believe so, yes. Okay. With that, we have nobody here for comments on agenda items. Public comments on non-agenda items. We're going to give you roughly about 3 to 4 minutes. And just please state your name and where you are located.
Sure. My name is Larry Hebert. I'm here with my partner, Kevin Latner. We are at 802 South Villa. That's Villa in Madison. It used to be known as the Wizard of Oz House, if you guys have been around for a while. What I'm here for is that I wrote a letter and attended a meeting here with the guy that was on this commission 7 years ago. It was the April 20th, 2016, to ask about this, and he pretty much shut me down, and a lot of things have happened since then. So what I would like to do is just, in a nutshell, Villa Park from Madison up until the Prairie Path, or the Great Western Trail, is striped right down the middle. And there's parking on the west side. So when the people are going south, you have to go over the yellow lines to go south. It's been this way a long line. There's a long way ever since we've been in the house 13 years. People don't always know coming from the north that the people going south have to go over the yellow line because there's parking. And there isn't 3 lanes to do that. So what I'm asking is if the village, this is currently how it is. From Madison Avenue up here to Crescent, Villa is striped right down the middle. And when there's cars parked, I don't know what you guys can see, but when there's cars parked, there's no yellow lines. Cars can park right down to the stop sign. And when they park to the stop sign, as you can see from this one, this car has to go over the yellow lines.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that I'm pushing this again is that ever since we put the stoplight down at Roosevelt and Villa, oh boy, you know, our traffic is crazy now. It didn't used to be that way when we moved in. So I'd like you guys to consider this new plan. I brought all this stuff 7 years ago and the guy just wasn't interested. So anyway, the new plan is that we would just stripe it more to the, to the west side, so that you would have a driving line going south, you'd have a driving lane going north, and there's room for the parking, and people wouldn't have to be pulling over. Because, like I said, there's a lot of new traffic, a lot of people go north, they don't realize they have to move over, because it's crowded, there's just not room there. So, I can send that, this is all in an email that I can send to everybody. If you guys want all this stuff, I can send it to everybody. Or you can have these too. I can leave these here if you want. This is the letter I had written. I don't want to run out of my time.
No,
here.
you're fine.
Okay. Here's what I had written and gave this to the village before. I also sent this to Matt right before Christmas. We were at one of those coffee things on Saturday.
The village manager?
Yes, he thought he had said he had forwarded all this to you guys, so I don't know if some of you have maybe seen it before or not. Parking is allowed only on the west side of Villa from Madison to North Park. Traveling on Villa can often be dangerous because the yellow lines currently are painted down the middle of the street. Due to this, cars traveling north must move to the right to avoid a collision. Many times, northbound cars do not move over as the line is down the middle of the street. With increased traffic, and this is before the stoplight went in. The parking is allowed on Villa all the way to the stop sign on Madison. That's certainly a safety concern. I mean, this is traffic and safety and that's why I'm here with you guys, and I think it's a great place to start this. People can park all the way down on Villa, right down to the stop sign. I think that there's an ordinance that says 15 feet or something, but people don't. No yellow lines, they park where they want. That makes it not only difficult for somebody that wants to go in the straight lane, because the other lane is a turn lane. If they want to go straight, they got to pull into the left turn lane and then turn around this car and hope there's no kids, because that's also a bus corner. Hope there's no kids there, because we shovel our lawn so the kids can get off the bus and not walk in snow, because there's no sidewalk there. That's the gist of what I want to ask you guys about. The other thing was we talked a little bit, and we went to the Saturday coffee thing again, about speeding in the village, and everybody knows speeding. You can't be cops on every corner. We know that. I mentioned the fact that we used to have a home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and traffic and speeding was really a trouble out there. So what they did, because even though they don't have snow plows, they didn't put in speed bumps, they put in these dips. And I don't know where that could be with you guys in streets and that sort of thing, but you put dips in streets, it slows the cars down. And it doesn't hurt the snow plows, because snow plows can't deal with, what do you call those hump things? So if you guys would think about that, if it's actually possible, we could slow down, because Villa is a regular speedway. Anytime, Friday night, Saturday night, when the bars are closing and they're going south, they're going north. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's a little loud, but they also love to sort of stop and then, put the foot on the brake and get the wheels going before they get going. So I don't know if that's something we could do, but it sounded like something that wouldn't hinder the snowplows and slow down the traffic. Do you guys have any questions about this presentation sort of thing?
No, if you do have that,
You guys can have this, because like I said,
if you have it electronically.
Yeah, I do.
And where should we send it to? Just to the village?
Kevin?
Actually, if you would leave the paper with us, that'd be better, just because that's what you presented tonight to the public record.
Yeah.
So that way we have the exact version that was shown to the commission.
I'll leave all of this.
We can return it to you once we make a copy.
And again, you can call me. I think my phone's on there. I don't know if it didn't. You can have my phone if you want.
Oh, we do have a phone number here.
Okay, so I can always send it to you that way too. But I'd
we
like
have
to
an
leave
email address,
the
too.
original letter and the pictures. And that's what I'd like you to think about.
Okay,
All right, good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you for letting us know about it.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. There is nobody else here for non-agenda items, comments, so we're going to move on to item number 6, presentations, report on bike pedestrian and transit subcommittee.
Thank you, Chairman Pincos. Yeah, I'll be very brief. So the last meeting of the Bike Pedestrian and Transit Subcommittee was on Thursday, January 26th. And the main item, or the first item on our agenda, was talking about the bicycle-friendly community application. The upcoming deadline is February 15th. And we had communicated with Manager Harline, because there was a discussion, indications that when we needed it, when the subcommittee needed it, we would get a staff liaison. But that did not happen. And so we are kind of resigned to the fact that we will shoot for the next deadline for submitting a bicycle-friendly community application, which will be in August. But what we did do is we went through the application, and it's actually a little bit more involved this year. There's basically 4 segments to it. One deals with engineering, education, what they call encouragement, public engagement, and then equity and accessibility. So it's a little bit more involved. We did kind of come up with some things where we feel that the village had made progress. towards some of the goals to become a bicycle-friendly community, but we're going to work with the manager and whoever the designee will be from the Public Works Department to work on that application so that we can make the August deadline. We did talk about bicycle-friendly business application, and what we had done is we had gone to the Economic Development Commission and asked them if they would budget a certain amount of money. The filing fee for a business if they want to see if they can become a bicycle-friendly business is $50, and so they're going to initiate a program where they'll subsidize the application, and it's much less involved than for a community. We talked about just what we knew about the Villa Avenue Improvement Project. We talked about community outreach. We were able to get a little article in the most recent edition of Village Matters, kind of talking about the bicycle pedestrian and transit subcommittee, and when we meet and what we do, et cetera. We're looking forward to whatever role we can play in the feasibility study for the pedestrian or vehicular underpasses, and there's some indication that we may be able to play a role in that. Our chairman, Joe Amore, was very involved in trying to get more access for Metra passengers to the Metra station and trying to get the UP to put heaters and where they, for the, where you can wait, in the shelters. That's an ongoing thing. And basically, that's it. And I apologize but I will make sure that Kevin gets the minutes going forward so you can attach them.
Yeah, I can certainly put those in the agenda packet if I have them, so. Quick question, though. Joe is the chairman now? Marianne is?
No, Joe Amore is the chair. Marianne is our secretary, if you will.
I see, okay.
Okay. Any other comments from the commissioners?
Quick question.
Yes, Jack?
For businesses to subsidize this, who do they contact for that?
Well, they would have to contact the Economic Development Commission, so Patrick Burke is the liaison to that commission. Deepa Kumar is the board liaison, and Tony Odo is the chair.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
Let's move on to item number 7, approval of minutes. Did everybody, I know it was a last minute thing here, but have you been able to review it? And any comments?
Why don't we make a motion to approve them then? You got anything? You got something?
No. I was going to second.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so the minutes have been approved. Going on to item number 8, old businesses. Item 890, Jackson Middle School traffic patterns. I have been dropping my daughter off about every morning out there, early and late times, and it, just like any other school, it gets a little hectic at the beginning. But I think I think Jackson's doing a pretty good job at moving around people on it. Also, too, every week since the first of the year, they have been sending out in their weekly newsletter a little clip about how to continue to proceed through the front parking lot there and dropping off the kids. So that's all I have to say on it. Commissioner? Wagner?
I would say for the most part, it's well-run, but there are some hiccups that occur in the afternoon. In the morning, the staff is out there with reflective vests, they're controlling traffic, they're checking when buses arrive, et cetera. But in the afternoon, it can be a little chaotic because there's not always staff out there. There's that crosswalk that as cars come in to the plaza and students are crossing, there's not always a staff person there to shepherd them across.
So it's inside the circle there.
Inside the circle, right. And then also, there's an issue sometimes when, I'm going to say, when they dismiss the school buses, when the school buses are loaded. It's beneficial when there's someone out there from the staff to stop traffic so the buses can either make a right-hand or a left-hand turn on Jackson, but there's not always a staff person there in the afternoon.
Okay.
The crossing guard, to her credit, has a sense that she can stop traffic, which helps the buses, but sometimes there is no staff out there, or none that can be seen.
Okay. Well, yes?
Was there any more consideration to the stop signs on the exit for that?
That's actually still on me. I still need to reach out to School District
Okay,
45
all right.
and make that request.
Okay, great.
Okay. And like any other situation, if nobody's out there to patrol the situation, they just, whoever's dropping some people off at early mornings and stuff, if they want to make that left-hand turn going westbound on Jackson, they will make that left-hand turn instead of going around and coming back, going eastbound on Jackson to make a right-hand turn. They also do make right-hand turns coming out, exiting that semicircle. Like I said, it just depends if somebody's there to patrol it. So, like any other situation. So, but I will bring that situation, I will try to talk to the principal and bring that concern up about the afternoon patrolling by the staff and see what's going on there. So, but I was gonna, at the moment, do we want to still keep this on as an agenda item, or what's the commission's thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of thinking if we're still looking for something on the stop sign, why don't we wait until Kevin gets back to us with that?
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna move on to item number 891, North Avenue Townhomes, frontage road parking restrictions. Kevin, do you have a update on that, please?
Yeah, the draft ordinance has had one reading at the village board level, and it's on the agenda for a second reading this Monday, the 13th, I believe the date is.
Yes. So, okay, so we'll leave that still on until that gets totally approved.
There was some discussion at the board meeting about eliminating or deferring or not having a second reading, but one of the trustees wanted to give residents of the townhomes additional time to react or express an opinion, either one way or another.
Yeah, and I can report that staff posted signs along the frontage road parking area advising of the February 13th date. Those signs were out at least a week ago, so the residents were given a 2-week, roughly, advance notice on the board's second consideration.
Okay. All right, so we'll leave this item on until that's been approved officially by the board. Okay, moving on to item number 9, new businesses. Consider amending the date of the Traffic and Safety Commission meeting scheduled for July 4th, 2003. I believe we have been approved to, what date was that?
Yeah, if you'll recall, at the last meeting, the commission discussed its preference would be to reschedule the July 4th meeting 1 week later to Tuesday, July 11th. We've confirmed that Village Hall is available at 8 PM that night for that meeting, and formal action would just be needed by the commission to formally move that meeting 1 week further on the calendar.
Okay, do we have a motion
A
to?
motion.
Okay, a second?
I'm sorry, was that Vicky?
Vicky?
Yeah. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Would you pause a moment?
Hold it, I'm sorry.
I wanted to see if I'm going to be in town then, and I have a schedule I need to check here real quick, if that's okay.
Okay,
I won't be here the 4th.
Just a moment. I won't be here the 4th. I can't remember if I won't be here the 11th. I think I will be, but I'd like to.
Vicky, did you say you were?
I would not be here on the 4th, so the 11th is perfect.
Oh, okay.
No, I can't. Wait a minute. Was that it?
Text Judy.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be here. So okay, let's go ahead and vote. If you guys are made your motion and seconded, right?
We did.
Okay, I put the pause on because I was just checking. I needed a minute.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Okay, so our July 4th meeting has now been pushed to July 11th, which is 1 week from the original date. Moves right on to the situation of our gentleman that came in to talk about the striping on Villa. I'm not too familiar with that at all. Do you?
I certainly know the area, just from, obviously, driving it. I'm not aware of the issue having come up previously.
I don't remember it either.
I do not remember it myself.
Unless he spoke to somebody out of the meeting, which is possible.
Well, that was 6 years ago, so.
You were here.
I was here?
6 years ago. I think you were chairman even.
Yeah, I remember that there was an issue with the turning lane and how close you parked because fire hydrants are on a certain side of the street and we had to change that and there was people trying to make the left turn lane and was blocking off. If somebody was parking, we did change something close to the corner.
Was that
What?
in Madison or was that
That was
There is
Madison and
one.
Villa.
Madisonville? Okay.
Yeah, if you were coming southbound on Villa and Madison and you were trying to make a left turn. There was a parking issue on where the parking spaces were at.
Okay, I don't remember.
Lack of space, but that was just on that very first spot. But that was probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Commissioner Wagner?
I travel Villa frequently, mainly going northbound.
Especially when I was
And
there.
I've experienced a little bit of what he was talking about. The southbound traffic, especially when there's a parked car, they tend to overcompensate. They tend to make a very wide, to go around if it's a Amazon delivery truck or UPS truck or just something parked there. They'll go well into the oncoming lane. And it can be a little scary. I mean, so you have to be very aware and kind of hug the curb, so to speak, because people will, even though they may be able to squeeze between the line and a parked vehicle, they tend to go really wide.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I've seen that many times and experienced it myself.
I could say,
Okay.
Don't know.
no, I was just saying, I mean, I used to, when I used to ride my bike down Villa and whatever, there was always problems because I was always go southbound on Villa to get to home. And especially with the cars, it was like very difficult because you always had to move over. And when there was a car and a bike and something parked, it was very dangerous. There were times it's like I'd actually stop before I'd actually go around or go on the sidewalk just because if it was busy time, it was a busy time. So I don't know if there's enough space or wide enough for that, for what he was suggesting is the question.
That was my question as well.
Is there one precedent for moving it, and two, what's the kind of stipulations on moving
Right.
the striping? What I think he would need it to go more east, if I'm correct. Is that even possible? And I know it's a pretty wide street, but again, is there even law and specifications for that to happen?
Well, I have a question, Kevin. Off the top of your head, do you know how wide Villa is along that route?
I did actually just measure it, and it's roughly 28 feet from edge of pavement to edge of pavement.
And would that be enough for a parking lane?
Off the top of my head, I would say I wouldn't be comfortable recommending it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the issue now is that you have parking permitted on the west side of the street, cars are parked there on a regular basis, obviously, we've all seen that.
Yeah.
I think even without a southbound vehicle swinging wide to the east into the northbound lane, it's still a tight fit to get two vehicles to pass in that corner.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all experienced that. So the idea of encouraging that, I think, when there isn't enough room to do it, could be risky. I think I'd also like to mention that if you have to drive into the oncoming lane to pass a parked vehicle, legally parked or otherwise, you are legally required to yield to oncoming traffic first. And so there's that issue going on here too. It's not just an issue of, the southbound traffic is not obeying the law in that instance. They are failing to yield to the oncoming northbound traffic. And that's something I think that also bears mentioning here.
Is there a reason why it is, there is a line in the middle of the street there? Was there anything?
It just comes down to the amount of traffic that the street has. Because Villa has enough average daily traffic volume, it has to have some sort of pavement markings to delineate the two different directions. And basically, what we call a 10-30 skip dash, 10 feet of pavement marking, 30 feet of a gap, is basically the minimum pavement marking that the street can have out there.
So, I mean, have we ever tested how much traffic has been increased due to the traffic light down at Roosevelt?
I'll be honest, we haven't. That's probably something that would be worthwhile.
Because, and just adding on top of that, when they do build like the new train station development, because now that the train station, they all have to go northbound, so they can't go down Ardmore southbound, so they're either going to go to Villa or to Addison. More than likely Villa if they want to get completely across town, because obviously Addison stops at St. Charles, which could increase traffic as well, especially during.
Yeah,
when
let us
train
look
lets
into
off.
the traffic counts. Because Villa is a more significant street, IDOT periodically conducts traffic counts on it, and that would give us something to compare to the previous ones, but I'd have to check and see how recently they've done it, if it's since the traffic signal.
So if we're gonna do
Excuse me.
that, Kevin, we'd have to wait a couple months for the weather to be.
If we were going to take traffic counts, yes. You have to wait until there's no chance of plowing operations any longer.
Okay.
Okay.
Question? I'm not familiar with the signage. He's saying they're parking right up to the stop sign. It would be feasible for no parking here to corner? Or what are we allowed, like about 36 feet or something to that effect?
So, village ordinance and actually state law, both prohibit parking within 30 feet in the approach to a traffic control signal or stop sign. We have on many occasions posted it just to make sure that people are aware of it, and I think we could certainly look into that here. What I'd like to take a closer look at before I actually, say for certain, is the fact that because we do have that left turn lane there, I would suggest that there really shouldn't be parking at any point in the approach to that stop sign. Maybe what I'll do is I'll send an email out to the commission with basically an aerial showing the current conditions. And also, I'd like to take a look and just make sure, before I say that, what the signage is currently posted as out there.
If I may throw something out, I think that his suggestion of putting the traffic calming dips in the pavement would be, at this time, something it would take years to get something like that done. And I am aware of some of the traffic calming tactics there are. And one thought comes to mind is if we were to remove that center line and draw or put down one of those white stripes on probably the west side of the street, that they do this in other towns. It's almost like it's marking it off as a parking territory, but it has a psychological effect that people think the street is narrower than it really is. And if we were to do something, that might be one avenue we could pursue. I think it would slow down traffic. It would make those people that are on the southbound side that are swinging way around the parked cars maybe take into consideration that they have to wait for the other car just because it seems like a narrower pathway.
With this discussion, should we make this an agenda item, or should we just?
I guess I'd leave that up to the commission. I think certainly I would like the opportunity to look into it a little bit further and report back. I guess it's up to the commission as to whether to create an item now or perhaps wait and discuss that again at the next meeting.
I think we can make it an item, but I'm only throwing this out there as an idea to promote some discussion on it.
Yeah,
May I?
I think there should be.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jack.
I was going to say, if we do an agenda item, at least for the spacing and the striping and not the calming, the dips or the bumps, I think that would be a separate item. That would be something that I would not be in favor of. Due to that is you're creating a dip where you can rank it. Somebody will hydroplane. Once you come out of the dip, you're airborne, or the sound of it, thump, 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 thump. We have emergency equipment, fire engines, paramedics that use that route to go to and from the hospital, things like that. I would not be in favor of a speed bump. We need to find another avenue for calming the traffic if we can. And I'm sure that we would also need, probably if we would consider speed bumps of any kind, that we'd actually need to talk to the whole neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of them would be.
Commissioner Wagner?
Thank you. I'm not really familiar with street dips. I've never experienced one. I guess, are there standards, Kevin, for?
I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with them either. So that's
I've never
something else
seen-
that
yeah,
if
that's
we're
something
going to
that maybe-
respond knowledgeably, we're going to have to look into
Because
as
it's
well.
dry. Yeah, I've done them in Arizona.
I would agree with the statements that have already been made, that off the top of my head, it sounds like something I would not support, but again, I'd like to do my due diligence first.
Okay.
Yeah, the dips would hold water in the rain, and that would actually add to a hydroplane
Oh,
effect
yeah,
if
that's
somebody
true.
was
That's true.
in excessive speed.
Yeah.
That would actually create a dangerous situation.
So I have experienced some of the dips in Arizona, and I think it is because it is a dry climate. It may work better than, obviously, with here, so, but it does slow you down.
Okay. So,
correct.
do we want to make the striping pattern an agenda item, is the question? Or do we want to wait for Kevin to get back to us and give us a better report on this? Yes?
I think it'd be advisable for us to wait for Kevin to give us a report.
Okay, so we'll do that then. So we'll hold that off. Okay. Item 10, Commissioner comments. I always start from the left, so.
Okay. I got a couple things I wanted to bring to the commission. And one was an article that I read in this is the February edition of the Illinois Municipal League Review. And it's about a program in Homewood, Illinois. It's called the Homewood Pace Car Program. Slow your roll. I'll just read the first paragraph. The Village of Homewood recently announced a new community-wide Pace Car program titled Slow Your Roll. The Pace Car program is a powerful traffic calming initiative with the goal to encourage drivers to be more aware of personal driving habits and set positive examples within the community. The program asks residents of Homewood to make a commitment to slow down, follow speed limits, and reflect on their own driving habits. The pledge reminds drivers to respect other drivers and obey the speed limit on local roadways. And it says here, residents can view and sign the Slow Your Roll pledge at various locations in Homewood, such as the Village Hall, the Police Department. There's a cycle shop where you can do it at as well. And it's a really interesting article, and it merited an article in the Illinois Municipal League Review. So I'd be happy to send this to you and to Kevin. I think it'd be interesting for the commission to read.
Okay. If you
I don't know how
Can
effective
send
it
that
is.
to Kevin?
Yeah,
And then he can relay it through the rest of the commissioners?
sure.
And I may have that in the office, but either way, if you would
Yeah,
send
it's
it to me that
just,
way.
it's the
there's no
February,
chance
it's
I'm
the
missing it.
February edition on page 15. And then just one more thing. One thing the Bike, Pedestrian, and Transit Subcommittee is interested in is para and senior transit. And I kind of knew about this program, but didn't know the ins and outs of it. There is you can, if you are at least 65 years of age or a person with a disability, you are eligible to receive a reduced fare taxi permit. And it costs, it's through 303 Taxi. You get a little ID card, and you can travel within the village for $1 a trip. And when I talked to staff downstairs, I asked how many people take advantage of this. Oh, maybe 2 or 3 a quarter. So I really feel that people don't know about the program. So once again, it's a reduced fare taxi permit, and if you're 65 years of age or a person with a disability, you're eligible for it. And basically, you just attest that you fit the criteria. They give you an ID card, and it's $1 a ride.
My thoughts immediately is maybe when the next Village Matters comes out, we could put an article in that edition.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people watching this right now, so I'm sure they'll take advantage of it.
So, but I'm just thinking if that's an idea that we could do when
Right.
I think the spring one's already in process right now.
What's that?
Is the Spring Matters,
So I think in a couple of months, the next one will come out. I don't know the exact,
yeah, I'm trying to
Deadlines.
remember the cutoff dates, because they were kind of like a month and a half before
yeah.
they actually come out. But it's an idea of putting it in the Village Matters.
Right. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
All I got is thank you to our first responders and military.
Okay, thank you. Jack?
Nope, don't have anything.
I have nothing either.
Vicky, it's your turn.
Oh, to me, huh? Cool. Well, just to tack on to what Rob, he said was about the 303 taxi. I know my mother, she's been living in the village for years, and she uses the York Township car, which is another great utilization of one of the services that is offered through York Township, because it does take her in a larger area, able to get her to the doctors more, and I think it's $4 for every trip. You do have to call in advance, but they are pretty good, and the people, everybody I've seen her work with has been very nice and accommodating with all of her, like she has a, what is it, a push cart, whatever, it just, that they do help her with everything, getting in and out, and they're all very timely, which is really nice to make sure they're on time. So just to add on to that, if somebody's interested. Also, just wanted to throw out there that the Boy Scout Troop 199 is going to be having their spaghetti dinner on Sunday, February 26th. If anybody's interested, the cost is $13 per person. They're selling tickets, so if anybody wants to reach out, you can go through their Facebook page as well.
And where are they holding?
Oh, St. A's, St. Alexander's, so they'll be there, so we'll be selling
We always
tickets.
have it.
Yeah, we always have it there. Also, we always do, I'll plug my own son, we always collect tickets for, if anybody wants to do buy one of spaghetti dinners for the police or firemen. So we always drop it off at the firehouse on that Sunday night.
Oh, great idea.
So, cool.
Like that idea.
That's all I had. Thanks.
Okay, very good. So, following our little agenda here, I have no comments either, and obviously trustee Sell is not here, and we'll move on down to village staff comments.
So only thing I have is the topic of the Villa Avenue project has come up here in commission several times. One of the items discussed was the fact that it'll have a couple public meetings. I can report that the first public information meeting will be held on Wednesday, March 22nd, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. over at the Iowa Community Center. We'll be basically putting out a pretty substantial outreach campaign with letters and emails and cloud notifications and things like that before then, but just want to let the commission know. We'll still have one more commission meeting before the public information meeting. I'll remind everybody next month as well. Certainly, everyone on the commission is welcome to attend, as is everyone else in the general public. That's all I have.
I do have a question going back now, I just thought of it.
Sure.
What's happening with that development over there by the railroad station?
So they're still moving forward with things. I'm not sure what is causing the current pace of construction.
I know it's been kind of idle for the
It has.
last
It has.
6
Trustee
months.
Cielo, at their last meeting, he said that there was issues getting materials to supply chain problems, and that by mid-spring should be going.
Just about.
Excuse me. So I heard them say that they were going to have some sort of maybe presentation at the February 13th meeting, just to say, bring in the developer, et cetera, to say, this is where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard at the last board meeting.
Yeah, I just noticed it's been idle for, since like mid-August, maybe?
Yeah.
So,
Kevin, I'm sorry, to follow up, will that meeting be live?
No, this will be an open house format where we'll have consultant staff available, village staff available. There'll be basically exhibits to review and discuss, questionnaires, things like that. So it won't be a format like commission meeting is here. It won't be a start and a finish per se. It'll be just an informal gathering with, off-the-cuff conversations and questions and what have you.
Thank you.
That said, we can certainly provide all of the meeting materials to anybody who might want them. We'll put them on the village website, send a link out, and anybody who isn't able to attend or would prefer to comment remotely can do so.
Great, thank you.
okay. And therefore, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Carl and Vicky?
Carl and Vicky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so our meeting is adjourned, and it's 8:46. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.